Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome to the late Apex here from the Apex Racing TV esports studio. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me is David Sampson, and we are going to be talking about the latest in the world of sim racing over the next hour or so. David, I wasn't around last week. Did you mess up the intro like I just did last week?
No, Jamie did it.
Yeah, and how did he do?
He did
his
well.
words.
It was a different vibe.
It wasn't.
Like, you're very forward and punctual. This was like chill.
I'm a bit much for people.
You leaned
sometimes.
forward. Jamie leaned back.
Okay,
You're
sure.
like, oh, hi there. You know, hello.
Yeah, that's his
Super chill.
It's like, hi. Yep, this is the late Apex.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. But yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
I am good. I am good. And looking forward to getting into some news, which I'm sure all of our viewers will be very interested in today. The biggest news, well, first up, we'll talk about our sponsor for this episode, which is Apex Racing League Endurance 2025, which had its entries open a couple of weeks ago. We'll be talking about that a little bit later on, but do check out apexracingleague.com or the Apex Racing League social medias on X and Facebook and Instagram to check out the details of that and sign up opportunities. Spots are currently open. Should be a very fun series. More on that later on. But let's talk about Le Mans Ultimate, because we've got a few things to talk about with Le Mans Ultimate. What did you want to dig your teeth into first?
Well, I suppose we should get into it all. Then I'll talk about the duality of the ups and downs. But let's focus on the ups, because it was big announcement day. They teased that an announcement was coming, and we got confirmed of all the ideas people have floated around. ELMS made the most sense. Gives us the LMP3, a couple more tracks, which is kind of the aim of the game right now, is to grow small, right? They don't want diversification like iRacing, because that kills the player base. And obviously they announced ELMS, LMP3, 3 new tracks. Now, obviously, it would be nice if we got to handpick these tracks and add giga tracks like Road Atlanta, Daytona, but it's not to be. But Barcelona, Paul Ricard, and Silverstone, and all their layouts. And obviously the LMP3 is an exciting prospect, obviously, for the sprint racing and the ELMS itself. I think it's a fantastic partnership. It helps on the marketing side. Like, it's so relatable to IRL racing, and it's very focused. Obviously, I know iRacing has IMSA, AMS has its IMSA series, but this is such a focused community. I'm glad. Well, I hope it's not going to go too horizontal too quickly.
Sure.
Because this is its strength right now, play into just these big ticket licenses. But yeah, I think it's very exciting.
the new tracks, I think, as you said before, Barcelona, Paul Ricard, and Silverstone, which will be very welcome additions. Especially seeing that Silverstone should obviously be on the wet calendar. Used to be. I went there a couple of times. It was a lot of fun, but it is not at the moment. Also, I think we need to decide. Some people pronounce ELMS as ELMS. Do we want to start pronouncing it as ELMS?
I've never heard that before.
I was chatting to someone from Cosworth who work a lot with the ELMS teams, and that's what a lot of people say it.
ELMS.
WEC, not WEC. ELMS.
See, for me, it's always been LMS and E's the endurance, right?
European.
Yeah, the European. Sorry, yeah. I always felt like it was a precursor, so ELMS, but
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure. You're making me doubt it. I've never heard the term ELMS before.
Okay. Well, we'll stick with ELMS then for now. It's quite nice to say.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So where ELMS feels almost slower to say because I have to elongate it. So yeah, that's a very good partnership. Of course, also run by the ACO is ELMS. So made a lot of sense. They have. I'm not sure if maybe you talked about some of this stuff last week anyway, but they are exiting early access on the 22nd of July. The cost of the game is actually going to stay the same for now, but they haven't ruled out future price increases. And of course, the game that you get at the moment, you still have to buy a lot of the content in order to get the full roster of cars and tracks. So yeah, we'll see if they change that pricing model as time goes by. And then they've also confirmed that coming in July, which will be the free cars, will be the Aston Martin Valkyrie AMR LMH and the Mercedes AMG LMGT3.
Yeah, they got to showcase the Valkyrie at Le Mans itself, the track. You could jump into a rig and give it a go. I did notice it was a very safe setup and all the assists were maxed, but obviously people are just wandering in and we can't be expecting them to be sat down. But no,
if you were there, would you go, mate, can you...
No, because I still don't want to make a fool of myself.
I've been on the other end of that where we've taken rigs to customers or to venues, and that is like the thing that you don't want to hear when someone says, can I turn off the assist? Because it's just effort. You have to go into say, and then you have to make sure you change it afterwards as well. And it's just like, no, this is what you get.
Sure.
Take it or leave it. You've been in the queue for some reason for half an hour. You just got to drive now.
Yeah.
You got your 3 minutes are ticking down.
3 minutes.
So you get on.
Especially on all these time models now, where they start cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, really exciting stuff. Version 1.0 will be exciting. The ELMS partnership. Obviously, we're not sure on a date on ELMS and the new tracks and the LMP3. All that we know the date on is version 1.0, and that will also give us the Valkyrie and the Mercedes for free. I assume when they update the pricing model, maybe they'll just have the one price for everything and then the subscription for...
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they'll...
I don't know.
Like, was all this just through development? Like, it'd be interesting to see...
But I think every game right now has a deluxe version.
True.
So,
That's what Set Corsa does, the old OG one, yeah.
Yeah, and so they've got the opportunity to charge people 90 quid.
Sure.
But then also have an entry-level 40 quid one. So
True.
maybe it will. But you're absolutely right about the subscription. I mean, that's where the money's going to come in the long term, right? I mean, it's a smart ploy to keep money coming in rather than people pay for it once and then...
Great, and people don't mind committing to that as long as we see this commitment on bug fixing and development going forward after they run out of licenses to grab, right? Because that's the worry where, you know, ACC went completely cold in between exciting things we can sell you. Like, we want the development in between. You know, if you're paying a subscription, you want to see things being worked on. Obviously, let's focus on the good news. Record numbers. Let me bring it up. This was very exciting. Even I noticed it. 6,304 was 4 days ago. If I go to the last week, month, I mean, it's actually hard to see. They have been pummeling, but this was post Le Mans. It looks like everyone came back from Le Mans and jumped on the game. I even saw a Discord message from their Discord confirming. Obviously, it's not the thing you want to hear, but they ran out of servers.
Yes.
Which is great, right? It's the aim to have that many people.
It's a nice problem.
yeah, obviously it shouldn't have been a problem because that's surely the ultimate goal is as many people as possible. So you've got to have the infrastructure in place to scowl.
I don't know much about this. How easy is it for them to expand that in the near future?
It depends on their infrastructure. I don't know if they've got a warehouse somewhere they rent and they've got a facility with X number of machines, or if they're fully cloud. If they're fully cloud, it's a credit card and a number. But I'm assuming they aren't because of the legacy infrastructure of R-Factor and what they've had to port over. But I have no clue. It really depends how it's been built, yeah. And obviously they haven't had an easy job because they've created something amazing here, but a lot of the stuff they've had to port would be from all the legacy stuff. It'd be interesting to see how they handle it. But those are fantastic numbers. They cleared ACC, growth-wise, very impressive. On to the bad. Unfortunately, Le Mans, this partnership with Pimax, the Aero event with the headsets and the Aston Martin and the record numbers and the new GT3 tyre model, these are all positives. It just came at a really bad time.
Sure.
Because I've been following the game now for a very long time. It's at one of its buggiest points right now, unfortunately. Now, a patch came out. I'm saying this, and unfortunately, I wish I could say something different. There was a patch this morning. Now, had I been home, I might be sat here and go, it's all fixed.
Sure.
But I don't know. Obviously, they've definitely addressed a lot of the bugs. It's in the release notes. Actually, I have the release notes here if anyone wants to scan and was curious. Game updates. Well, the word fixed, if I search for the word fixed, the yellow word fixed is prominent. So, yeah, that's a promising sign. The word fixed featured, actually, how many times? 51 times.
Sure.
So, hopefully all the things people were annoyed about is fixed. But, yeah, server crashing, just general stability, weird bugs, 0% tires. You get what I mean? This was the downer. I'm going to pin it on one thing. We knew they delayed the tyre model in this update. And I assume the final deadline just had to be the Le Mans event and the IRL ability to drive the Aston and the partnership with Pimax and the IRL. So,
and it's just such a big opportunity that only comes around once a year.
Yeah, I think.
You want to take it.
Yeah, they delayed. They did all they could, but end of the day, they pushed out a build that wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Now I could be wrong, but it sounds too good to be true. Because the only other solution is this, or the testers just fouled.
Sure.
So take the win, take the L. But as I say, patch came out today, so they're aggressively on it. This isn't me pushing a downer. My biggest problem with it is the timing. All of the good came with the bad at the same time. So you might have a lot of people out there and their first experience of this game. And, it has that small cloud of R-Factor 2 servers floating around in the people's heads. And they jump on and the servers are unreliable. And so you get that, you're just praying Verstappen wasn't one of the people who drove it this week. Because he got quite angry.
I think he was busy driving GT3s at Spa.
Yeah, I saw that.
What I heard.
But so, yeah. That's all I'm going to cover on the negative. Overall, very positive. The community's come out. Obviously, the marketing from the Real Le Mans works because numbers absolutely piled on. They've got a career mode announced. I'm excited. And I'm impressed with the level of speed they're getting the patches out. So, yeah, I think it's a watch this space. It's still early access, so we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And they're going in the right direction. So...
A few of the things they mentioned for that single-player career mode is sponsors, driver ratings, cash, media opinions, and some form of insurance. So that would be pretty cool if it's a really in-depth thing. And of course, whilst iRacing are working on their career mode, that is going to be very different in terms of covering many different series and maybe having a ladder system. This is much more basic, which perhaps gives them the opportunity to really go much more in-depth and, really go into that media side, insurance side, like the financial parts of it. I don't know, team management. Hopefully they'll do that.
This could be their console killer feature. They should do the license thing. If you're listening, just do the whole Gran Turismo license thing. Yeah. It's like everybody does it. It's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Obviously, console's way off. We know that. They're not thinking about that at the moment. They've talked about, like, when they term it, they're, like, way over a year away. Like, i.e., we want to get everything in. Oh, yeah, one other negative. Unfortunately, it was cleverly wound in a positive, which I always appreciate a marketing team when they're able to do that. Because you read the message, like, oh, that's all good. Then you read it again, like, oh, wait, they delayed team racing.
Sure.
I can't remember the exact wording, but basically along the lines of, they said, we don't want to add another layer of complexity on top of problems. We want to get the problems fixed, and then we add the cake on top, which is the team racing. Which, I mean, when you think of Le Mans Ultimate and what this game is about, endurance has got to be the first word, and it's the thing that's missing. So team racing, yeah, I'm excited. They have everything now in place. The 1.0 onwards just needs to be this polished, well-tested, focused build. No mistakes, no ball dropping, and I think they're onto something.
Let's move on to Assetto Corsa. We've got a few bits of news. First up, Assetto Corsa Evo, the game which is already out in early access, but will be in full release by the end of the year. And there's a video.
A really good video.
Featuring the BMW at Spa. And this is going to be an opportunity for people who visit the Spa 24 hours to, give some rigs a go.
This video is so good.
Hans Zimmer would be proud of the music.
Suspension modeling from replay mode. I mentioned this before. Looks iRacing-esque. No other game does.
A lot of Panasec classes are up. And yeah, we will see. Of course, this is part of like the SRO GT3 Endurance series. And so, well, yeah, we'll see if there's a few more of these sort of pop-ups as the year goes by at other circuits. But yeah, at Spa, there's going to be
10 out of 10 video, though, isn't it? Really good. I wonder what game they filmed it in. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Probably AC with some mods, right?
Maybe.
No, I'm excited for the game. It'd be nice to have Kuno's back on the scene. But yeah, I mean, so we might as well talk about my reaction to this, because we don't have anything to talk about apart from the video itself. It screamed SRO AC Evo to me, and that's what I wanted. If you remember, all my rants was like, if they want to win, they should try and replace AC and ACC. Go for the modding, go for the dirt, go for the drifting, go for the official GT3 series, go for the online competition. Be brave. Go make your competitor your own games. That's the way Apple always does everything. When the watch division is launched, they say, you are tasked with stopping people using phones. It sounds insane, but that's the best way to let a department, because that is the ultimate goal of a smartwatch, right? So you don't need to use your phone. Whereas scared companies are always like, make a watch, but I mean, don't make it too good because we want to sell phones.
Yeah.
And I'm scared they're doing this, where they're like, well, we don't want to do too much modding because, well, AC, and we don't want to do the official GT3 stuff because, well, ACC. And then you're left with this game, Gran Turismo 7, I don't know. So it screamed SRO to me, and it probably screamed it a lot of others, because we might as well talk about it. In the comments, there were people obviously excited. SRO, AC Evo, this is cool. And then the comment came from official Assetto Corsa. And I have the comment here somewhere. One second. We haven't confirmed this. We're not done with Competizione yet. That was the comment. So again, this might be them worried that people are going to jump ship away from the game that's working to a game that isn't, and there's this big, I mean, we've got 6-7 months till it's possibly out anyway. But obviously we've had rumours spiralling now for a long time about the last patch again to ACC, addressing a couple of the gripes and issues they left the game with, because it felt like just before they announced AC Evo, they put out a patch to ACC that didn't go down well.
Yeah, but I think they then released another one after that, didn't they? Which almost reverted it back. I think there were some tire model changes that people
I'm
weren't
not
a fan of.
sure.
And I think it almost, was it like 1.9 or something?
And I think people wanted 1.7 tires.
Yeah, and so they sort of like halfway returned
Yeah.
it back to that, I think. But it very much came across as being like, if you're going back a version because people are unhappy, that does seemingly feel like the final version. I think it's 7 months now since like the last proper update. That they
Yeah,
had.
I'm expecting a 2.0. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, ACC has taken a bit of a hit because of LMU. Very similar focus. They're both primary GT3, but the LFM racing's built into LMU, so I think that's where LMU's been absolutely cooking on the player front. But let's see. I don't want to see ACC die and LFM die because I think it's a great community. But if it has to die, I want it to be at the hands of AC Evo. Like, I'm all for LMU growing and doing what they're doing. They're killing it, and I'm a big fan, massive fan. But I want to see Kuno's back in this space. We all need Kuno's in this space. So, yeah, I just hope they're brave. Obviously, that comment doesn't lend itself to being brave. It lends itself to being, again, like I worried. Like, they're worried about ACC sales. They can't be thinking like that. Go all in. I mean, they've got the free roam. They can make the game I've always dreamt about if they're brave.
Yeah. Driving between races. Yeah.
Driving between races. I won't rant again.
All you need is ACC and Euro Truck Simulator to be
And
merged
Flight Sim.
together, and Flight Sim.
Easy. Just buy all frigs,
Yeah.
slap them together. I think I could do it.
Yeah.
In 16 years with a massive team and 5 million a month in budget. Yeah, so let's see. We don't have a lot more to report on AC Evo apart from that stunning looking video. It was stunning. They may have trumped a Rennsport video. I think that was really good. As I say, they were flexing with the suspension model over that curb because that only iRacing does that in replay mode. Yeah, other sims you feel it, but in replay mode it's just like crunch and then it comes back down again and it just looks awful. ACC was one of the worst actually. So yeah, watch this space. What is it, September or end of year?
I think it's September. Yeah.
So the delay will come around late July, early August.
Yeah. So 2027.
Yep. Cool. We know how it works.
Yeah. Speaking of delays, Rennsport has got an update, and it is quite a fairly small one, but it's something that I didn't realise wasn't in the game. Which is car setups are now adjustable. You can do that before. It's been an option in the game because when it comes to like BOP testing, the ESL, not the ESL, the R1 teams at the start of the season have to like create like a setup, and after that there'll be like BOPed when it comes to power and when it comes to like aerodynamics and stuff, but like there's a basic setup. So it's been around for, I think, a while. Maybe this year was the first time they've done that, though. I'm not sure if they've adjusted the setups in the past. So maybe that was the first time that. So maybe it's quite new, but yeah, it's now available. They've also got the new sound system with the Mercedes AMG in particular being updated. That was very weak in the past, and just loads of like other changes when it comes to like off-board cars. I think before. At the start of this R1 season, I think Jamie was mentioning and the others were mentioning how you could be driving alongside another car and you'd hear the car next to you more than the car that you're driving.
Yeah.
I think it was like the Aston maybe was just like 5 times louder than everything else. And so you're driving behind an Aston and you can't hear your own gear shifts basically because it's so loud. So I think maybe some fixes when it comes to that, and yeah, just some other minor changes. So that is the Rennsport update. Of course, they are releasing the full version, again, like every other platform, in the fall this year.
But
and
to
it will
console
be
as
coming
well.
into console, yeah.
I almost want to see if there's a bookies that would take my bet that they won't.
It won't come to console, what?
On that date.
but it's...
Where's AI? They need it. You can't release a game. Well, what's a racing game that you do what? You can adjust setups. You can hot lap.
Yeah, but... So I was speaking to one of our fellow commentators Lexi, who works with Apex Racing TV, and they're saying that they were very excited about Rennsport because they don't feel like there's that much on console when it comes to that area in terms of taking the simulator stuff very seriously. You maybe
Well,
got your
ACC's there. In
but
a
it's
limited
old,
fashion. Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Old and maybe limited. Whereas you tell a console player, you can get GTPs, you can get TCRs, you can
Sure.
get GT4s, you
But I
can get
think
GT3s.
without a career mode or AI at the moment, there's no career mode, there's no AI. It is just hot lapping.
Yeah. Well, I think it is a bit of an open goal for them. If they had those elements, I think, yeah, it wouldn't actually need to be that good. And I think they'd do well. As long as it wasn't that expensive, as long as it was like 40 quid.
Yeah.
But yeah, they aren't. They're missing the goal at the moment.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, they got so much ahead of them, and I firmly believed in them at the beginning that because the state of the game when I first saw it, 0.001, I was pretty impressed how far they'd come without me hearing about them or anything. Like their first step was quite far, but the first step to today has been really small. Just a few step backs, like broadcasting and off, like far chase cams. I think it's a step back from the OG release. And yeah, console's not easy. I mean, I still know there's FPS issues and stability issues on PC. Well, PlayStation 5, they've got work ahead, and I hope they're working very, very hard. Because you can get pulled on PlayStation. If there's bugs, stability issues, and there's enough reports, PlayStation just pull you. They're not afraid of it. This isn't the PC where you're just on the Steam store, you're just on an Epic Game Store. No. Sony look at this different. Like you are privileged to be on their store. Sure. If they feel like they're having to process refunds, you're gone. So let's see. Plus, you got to decide a price, Rennsport. Like they haven't talked about.
No, well, of course they want in-game transactions and stuff, don't they? They want people to buy stuff in the game. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to work. Well, unless, I don't know. I know in Gran Turismo they have quite a lot of sort of like website features when it comes to liveries, for example.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to add a logo to your livery, you have to go via the Gran Turismo website and then you import it from the website on your PlayStation. I don't know, maybe if that's their plan, but
no clue.
Yeah. iRacing have got their development update video. They always release this a little bit after sort of week 13 and after the development sort of blog comes out. I didn't have much of a look at this, but was there anything that you were particularly interested in that you saw on this?
Well, we should definitely listen to the end, because if you haven't heard it, I want to know. Oh my God, it's 16 minutes long.
I mean, I've seen the notes, unfortunately. I read the notes. So
Okay, well...
but we'll see if the viewers...
Yeah, let me find it first of all. It's going to take me a second, sorry.
Some of the things that they talked on were Sonoma, Gateway...
Obviously, Sonoma was delayed, right? Sonoma was meant to be in the build we just had.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on while I find.
North Wilkesboro, SimUI, graphics engine updates, physics updates, of course, or physics update coming every build, but of course it's part of a very big project that they've got. Mexico City is a possible Season 4. Of course, that was meant to come out a couple of seasons ago, but then they updated it with the iRacing graphics, also the F1 sort of events stuff. And so that's sort of the reason for the delay on that, apparently. Miami, apologies, I was talking about Miami when I was saying that. Mexico City has been talked about a little bit as well. And then GT3, GT4, and GTP also continuing to be worked on.
I can't find it. Oh, here we go. I think I might have found it. I can't hear the sound because I know it's distracting as hell when you're trying to talk.
Exciting addition in the near future.
I nailed it. All right, listen to this. Also, have a quick look at Miami. So I'll show Miami quickly.
That's Mexico.
Mexico, sorry.
Which is going to be quite the substantial effort by the time we're done.
No Mexico filter. I'm disappointed. Why is it not all orange?
Now that the Grand Prix has had its May race build-up and are working through transforming the facility to more accurately represent race day. The car team is working on many interesting projects,
Right, here we go.
including exciting additions to GT3, GT4, and GTP. Our high-performance open-wheelers will see an exciting addition in the near future that will allow us to represent a new tier of real-world competition better. We're just scratching.
Better.
Oh, okay.
I
want
mean,
interested where would your brain have gone? You know where mine went.
like, so it's not F2, it's not F3, I think, because of the licensing with F1. I imagine they want to keep that for their own games. And it doesn't seem like anyone else is really taking that. I mean, I know your brain went to Formula E. I would be shocked if it's Formula E.
Well, do you know the word you just used? Do you remember
I
the?
know,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
like 2 years ago. And they were
Shocking
like,
update.
but then they said, yeah, guys, you read too much into this. We're just using an
No.
adjective.
So are they winding us up now with this then? My brain, of course, it went to Formula E. I mean, the two new Formula E tracks are Mexico City, Miami. Yeah.
I don't think they go to Miami, do they?
Uh,
When Monaco gets added, I'll start listening.
hold on. Formula E, Miami. Yep. The Miami E Prix.
Oh, my bad. Sure.
Miami, Mexico City. Hold on, let me get the Formula E schedule.
Yeah.
Formula E schedule 2025. Yeah. Sao Paulo, Mexico City, Jeddah, Miami.
Sao Paulo isn't Interlagos, by the way.
No, I know. But, I mean, they were showing... I mean, you just saw the transition of video. They showed Mexico City, Miami, and then talked about a new, exciting...
So I think if Formula E came, no one would drive it. Like it would genuinely be
iRacing
dead straight
have
away.
never cared about that. They did Mission R.
But I think Formula E are knowledgeable enough to go, you know what, this is not a good idea. If we because Formula, I mean, it annoys me a little bit. I think Formula E generally, with their marketing being very good, they could release quite an average game, and I think it would do quite well.
I don't think so.
But I don't think it would
Formula
work on
E
iRacing.
Ultimate.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think they could have it because I think a lot of people are annoyed at F1, and a lot of Europeans, when they think of the alternative to F1, they don't think IndyCar, they don't think WEC, they don't think IMSA, they think Formula E. That's the other one because so many F1 drivers do it.
I think
you could get a lot of that audience by just making a half decent game.
I think all they care about is getting the license paid. The license has a value, and if iRacing are willing to pay it, then job done.
I don't think iRacing would. It would have to be Formula E coming to iRacing, though, wouldn't it? It's like with the Mission R.
True.
Porsche came to iRacing. Yes, that car died.
I'll take it if we get the version 1s where you have to park in the pits, get out, navigate into the other car, seatbelt out, and drive out.
Yeah.
I want that version.
But you only and the LAN events, you have 2 rigs, and you have to jump in.
Yeah. I don't know what else it could be. My brain went to Formula E and Formula 2. We don't have F2 in our racing, right?
No, but I don't think I don't think F1 would give up the license for it. Same with Formula 3 as well.
What else could it be, though? On a serious note, is there anything else it could even be?
I'm on a Wikipedia page. Formula Racing. We've got World Championships, Formula 1, Formula E, International Championships, Formula 2, Formula 3, Regional Championships, Formula Regional, which I think is like, I feel like that's basically F4 cars. National Championships, Formula 4,
IndyCar.
North America, IndyCar, Indy Next, which we already sort of have.
They can't add that. That's the lights, essentially, isn't it? We've got that. They cannot add another road to IndyCar.
USF Pro 2000, we have that.
Yep.
Japan Super Formula, got that. Super Formula Lights, we got that. And there's apparently FR.
Yeah, variants of
Japanese Championship and JAF.
So it has to be Formula 2 or Formula E.
Other Formula Series, Euro Formula Open Championship, F1 Academy, which is just F4 cars, I think. F1 in schools, Formula 1000, Formula Continental, Formula Ford, we've got Formula LGB Hyundai, Formula LGB Swift, Formula SCCA, maybe could be doing that. I mean, they got the Spec Racer Ford, which I think runs in the same sort of organisation. Formula Student, Formula V, we've got that, Formula Women. GB3 could maybe have that. Again, I sort of just think that's F4 cars. Masters Historic.
Now, I think the word exciting, they can't... If it's outside...
Old F1 cars, maybe?
Ah.
2001
Anything
Cosworth,
as soon as you put the word
Willis.
F1 on something, it's really, really expensive. Hence why classic F1's barely ever been in the F1 games. I think all those old licenses are almost impossible to navigate. Like,
Sure.
you know, if you want an old Lotus, who do you phone? Who do I book this?
Yeah.
I think they're very difficult to navigate. I mean, I personally, I agree on the Formula 2 tie-up. I don't know how it's licensed. I know they have it in the Formula 1 game. I don't know how that functions, Formula 2. I can't imagine it's a big ticket item. But Formula E, the only places it's ever gone, Trackmania,
Yep.
which was, and R Factor 2, which we know is in the mud. Obviously,
Yeah, Motorsport Games bought the license for Formula E, and therefore that's why they put it in our
Yeah.
fantasy.
I think Formula E makes the most sense because I can see an esports series. I can see the cross collaboration.
The like Formula E only works on specific. So, okay, another counterpoint to this, they've got the new generation of Formula E car coming.
Mhm.
So like they wouldn't have the old generation. The new generation might be in it because I don't know what the specs are. I don't know if you've.
I mean, if they're working in collaboration with Formula E, we could see. Remember, in iRacing, we got the BMW GT3 before it hit the track, before it was ready. We were trailblazers. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like this is such a different generation of car. Like this is so different with the new Formula E cars. I feel like there was some news about like recently, but I found an article from 2024. But yeah, I'm not sure. But apparently there's like super powerful these new cars, like 500 brake horsepower or something.
But no, you are right. The best counterpoint you could have said actually is we don't have enough tracks.
Yeah.
Like
But
it would be weird, right? We don't have Monaco, Tokyo, Jakarta, Berlin.
and they are like I'm not against Formula E or anything. I've seen certainly in the early days I watched quite a bit of it, but like they are rubbish cars.
It's all understeer.
Yeah.
A lot of the overtaking moves are then ploughing into each other, leaning on each other. One will hit a wall, and then they finally get around, and then who can get away? It's
I can't remember the last time when I heard
narrow
someone
tracks.
go, you know what we really need? Treaded tyres. I really wish my tyres were like the cars that I had on my Ford Fiesta.
And they fuel save. They fuel save
you're constantly
more
lifting
than
on.
F1. Yeah.
So yeah, they're rubbish. Like it sort of annoys me partially. Some of the, but I think it's marks very well. It's very entertaining. But yeah, if you want to drive, so I've heard the argument before. Oh, I wish Formula E didn't race on street circuits. I wish they raced on like Donington and whatever. It's like watch F4 then.
Yeah.
Like F4 would be way better.
Way better. Yeah.
Than Formula E. So you'd watch that.
It is a big ticket though. If the license is floating around, it is a big ticket item. I agree. The participation. I don't think it'll be there. We have so many Formula series, but I don't think iRacing cares about participation. I don't think that's a factor they ever factor in. The Brazilian stock cars, dead on arrival.
But again, was that Brazilian stock cars? Like who was initiating that? Like who was?
Oh, I know. And now you know how I know, so you know who it is.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
But so, yeah. So do you think there could be an equivalence to
What, someone?
someone maybe who's raced in Formula E who
Yeah, sure.
could be
Yeah. They're always down for partnerships and stuff. I don't know. But hey, if we get Formula E, we get possibility of Monaco.
If we get Formula E, do I get to play as Dan Tickton?
Yeah, sure.
Wow. My dream. Great guy.
So yeah, we'll see. Watch this space. But they did say the word shocking, and last time my brain went to it.
No, but that was like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, and these licenses take time.
Sure.
They take time. Look how long Croft has taken.
Honestly, this is going to be like a new generation of like IndyCar lights, which we're not even aware exists.
Yep.
And you're going to be disappointed.
If
and you're
they
gonna
use the
complain
word
when that
exciting
happens.
for, I mean, agreed. Actually, the other one it could be is the IndyCar NXT. The next it is.
But I think we have that, don't we? Because we have 2 Indy lights. I think the next is just a sponsor.
Yeah, I think it's the. What all I meant is the like TCR, where we got the official
Oh, okay. Sure.
TCR license.
Right.
It changed nothing. It was a big video and then just back to business. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. I was about to say I'm personally hoping it's Formula E, but I have no plans to drive it. I don't know.
No.
I used the Mission R like once.
Interesting box saying maybe they get the license to get more tracks. The problem is all the tracks are like awkward tracks in Tokyo, which are street circuits and could never be used for anything other than Formula E. So I don't think there's any actual like real life proper circuits that you'd want which are on the Formula E.
Look, I don't want Monaco added. I've been there. I've driven around it myself. I've been to loads of Monacos. I'd like to retire there. I want it in the game though.
Yeah.
Like I want to throw up a hosted race and we all race around Monaco in a decent Formula car, like a Formula 4.
Yeah, but like, imagine like 30 Renault Clios.
Yeah, exactly.
Monaco. It'd be really good fun.
SFL at Monaco. That is peak. That is so much better than Formula 1 and Formula E.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so I think you summarised Sonoma, Gateway, Charlotte, the scans, North Wilkesboro, the UI, which I can... we've seen a few times, but for those uninitiated, I will grab a quick picture. I think I found it pretty quickly. Let's see, but we've basically seen it a few here we go. Found that pretty quick. So we've got, I mean, for me, I'm not going to rant. I have no idea what the full screen button does. I'm scared. If that's accidentally clicked while I'm driving, are you really going to take over? Anyway, no, I said I wouldn't rant. Here we go. These are pictures of Race Lab. I mean, sorry, of iRacing's UI that they've been developing for years. Yep. Basically, it's what they had, just with loads of colours. Way too many colours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's... Oh, there's a picture of a robot. Please do a picture of a Smurf. Like an actual Smurf, and every Smurf has to drive with a Smurf denotion. Oh, that would be brilliant. Yeah, I'd even pay monthly for that. Yeah, I mean, I feel a little insulted because for those educated, barely anything's been added. They've added class colours to show that it's a different class to you. And they've rounded things and made the colours brighter. And added a maximise button. I'm going to come back to that. What do we do? While I'm driving, do I hover over to that, click it, and it's... Now I have a full screen relative and I can't see the track. So yeah, I'm sorry not to sound more enthusiastic. I just don't understand why it's taking long to do that, what they've showed me. So yeah. And if it uses more FPS, then I'm going to be fuming.
Sure.
Because I have 17 left.
Sure.
Click and drag to make it bigger. Oh, let me look. Oh, yeah, but that's the wrong... I do get what Ethan's saying, but that is the wrong symbol for that. We use like a... I get what he's saying. Maybe. Maybe, yeah.
Oh, what? So you can drag the
handles.
corner?
Yeah.
Right, okay, sure.
But we do have a bit more of a universal symbol for that. So it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, good point. Drag handles. But please, iRacing, let's have multiple. I want a relative... and the standings. I don't want to drive changing between them. Fuel count, relative standings. I like. Anyway.
I mean, I've dabbled a little bit with overlays recently, and like I'm just of the attitude where I just want nothing on screen. I get too distracted. Even the relative, if I'm not battling someone there and then, I have to turn it off. Otherwise, I'm constantly looking down. See, I've lost half a tenth there. Oh. It's distracting, whereas I just need to concentrate on myself.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly. So,
the video is worth a watch though. It's one of their better ones. So yeah, if you're interested in everything that's coming, it is definitely worth checking out. They mentioned about the physics update. They mentioned about, we might as well get into this, additions to GT4, GT3, and GTP. Let the games begin. I'm going to copium one more time and triple down on Aston Martin for both. Aston Martin, sorry, and Aston Martin.
We've all got the Aston Martin GT4 already, right?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, the two. That's why I said both. Yeah. The Aston Martin finally getting all of them.
I think surely the Lambo GTP is quite likely, right?
Yep.
With it being in IMSA and that.
Yep.
So maybe I think that would be a good shout. And it seems to be in. It's already in like race room, not race room. AMS 2, isn't it? I think so. And of course, it's coming in the Ian Bell game as well, Project Motor Racing.
Project Motor Racing. It's the cover photo. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's got it apart from iRacing. So surely the Lambo GTP.
And I assume some of the GT3s will get an Evo revision.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I'd like to see the Aston Martin. What we got? The Lexus. What we're missing in
The
GT?
Lexus is being replaced. I don't know if that makes it more or less likely.
Or
It's
it's cheaper.
yeah, because they're replacing it with the Toyota, I think.
Yeah. But remember, we never had the Audi Evo. Audi publicly announced they are leaving motorsport racing forever. 2 days later, iRacing like, we did it. We've got the Audi Evo. It's like, Jesus God. Finally, when it's retired. No, yeah, I get what you're saying. I would still like to see a Lexus. It's been around for a long time. I'd like to see it in. It just got added to LMU, right? The Lexus.
Yes. Yeah.
Aston Martin, Lexus. I'm trying to think what else we're missing in the GT3 category.
Bentley.
Yeah, I won't be too fussed about another boat coming to sim racing. But yeah, Bentley for sure. Wow, that's a lot of cars though, isn't it?
Yeah.
All those cars just to still drive the Acura at Daytona. Yeah, they mentioned about the graphics engine, the physics update, Mexico City, Miami. Let's see. Obviously, it is great to see how many cars you can pick from now in the IMSA category in iRacing. It's fantastic. It's just a shame we have to drive the Acura. It drives me nuts. But yeah, lots to look forward to. Unusual amount of delays, right, from iRacing with Sonoma and stuff. Like,
yeah, like
more misses than.
Especially seeing that they're announcing this stuff like 3 weeks before the build,
Mm.
and then they're like, oh no, it's been delayed by 12 weeks.
Yeah,
But
but
I have to change the GT3 trophy calendar because we're going to go to Sonoma in like 2 weeks, I think.
if they're nailing the quality control, then I'm never gonna. You know, they're taking the hit to focus on quality. Then I'm all for that.
We had just one clip from Apex Racing TV. It was just a slightly funny clip, I thought. Sort of funny. I don't know, maybe we shouldn't be laughing at this. Maybe this is quite serious.
With Michael Klimovic.
That's John Casey
Oh,
hitting the
oh,
curb,
yeah,
and then he
yeah.
ends up on his... Which is odd, because he sort of...
Casey.
I don't even know what's happened to the curb there, because the curb is flat.
Casey.
He's just got both tyres up on it and then carried on turning.
And then Klimovic helps him up and over, but that
Oi,
curve-
oi, 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 oi. Yeah, that's pain. Yeah, I don't think he found that particularly funny.
No.
I don't think any
Maybe he'll look back on it.
in a year or two, maybe.
Yeah. I mentioned it earlier on, but Apex Racing League Endurance 2025 was announced a couple of weeks ago. Already 27 spots filled. Good participation in each of the classes as well, particularly the LMP2s. I've been pleased how many people have signed up. Of course, the GTDs still marginally the most popular. Round 1 is in 4 weeks, so there's still time to sign up. And yeah, you can register over at apexracingleague.com.
It is a good one, not to be missed. The endurance is a really good event for sure.
Yes.
Interesting boxing, no Formula ARL. Yeah, when are we getting an SFL series? I mean, a Formula series.
We had SFL. What did we have? I think we had one of each. I think we had a proper Super Formula series, and we had a Super Formula Light series, but neither of them were that popular. I'd like to do a NASCAR series before too long. We did 3 of them a few years back, but we
I'd
haven't done
love
one in
to.
a while. I think there's a decent appetite.
I am expensive to use. I'm an eNASCAR co-streamer. So.
Yeah. So we'd have to pay the same fee as they do.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you can do that, that would be great. We're doing NASCAR every day if you want. No, yeah, I'd love to do a NASCAR series.
Any other suggestions? Let us know. There might be some opportunities when it comes to Americans in the next few months when we might host an American series. Talks are in progress for that, so
Awesome.
maybe that would be an option.
Is that 3 a.m. pizza and coffee, or are we bring in another crew?
I
Because I'm open to the
I'm gonna have to be awake, but I'm planning on basically just keeping my eyes half open, checking that everything's still working.
Right.
I'm planning on doing absolutely nothing if I possibly can.
You're in there just.
Yeah, I'll probably fall asleep every single time and just get to the end and be like, oh no, did it go well? Did it not go well? And see. Yeah, here's the calendar, by the way, for ARL Insurance. Spa, Monza, Hockenheim, Le Mans, Road Atlanta, and Imola.
Damn, I wish I was doing that. Obviously, I love broadcasting it, but yeah, I want to do that. That is a good series. I really enjoyed it watching it.
Yeah, we'll be covering it. So yeah, do sign up at apexracingleague.com.
3-hour races, 6 of them.
Yep.
And obviously, every race has the chance of rain.
Every race has the chance of rain. And it's a cheaper entry fee as well this season. Few less prizes, to be fair, but yeah, cheaper entry fee, so it is worth signing up. Talking of rain, later on we have Apex Racing League Touring Car Britain 2025, and the forecast is quite something. It's going to be wet during qualifying, or during practice and qualifying, then it's going to dry out through race 1 and race 2, and then it's going to pour down with rain just before race 3. It can always vary though. That's not set by any means. Maybe the rain could shift as much as like 2 hours, or maybe a whole band of rain which we're expecting might just disappear, and so it can always change. But that is what the weather forecast. It will probably stop raining at some point between about qualifying and race 1, be dry for race 2, and hopefully we'll have a different tyre strategy, a bit like what we had at Brands Hatch.
Yeah. What track are we at? We're at Silverstone
National.
National. Yeah, it's gonna be content, mate.
Oh, imagine if
Have
it
the
was
clip-
Legacy.
Yeah.
Oh. Looks awful though.
Yeah, it's like the
looks
old
so
generation
bad.
tarmac, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder how even old generation tarmac works with rain. Does rain have tracks? No, rain's supported across all asphalt, isn't it? Yeah,
think
it's
so, yeah.
cars, tires.
Tyres, yeah.
Tires have to be supported. Okay. Yeah. Let's end this and then start talking about NASCAR.
Yeah. We'll
get pizza
put
ordered.
some stuff together.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that's it from us. We'll be back next week. Of course, make sure to check out all the streams on the channel and follow us on social media, and of course sign up for Apex Racing League Endurance 2025. But for now, from myself and from David, we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.